This village is going to be saved!
Yeah, okay, we're gonna go this way.
Ever since I was a child, I've tried to be the best. So what happened? My family and friends all said I was blessed. So what happened? It was supposed to be all so exciting, to be teaching of Christ across the sea, but I allowed my faith to be shaken. Oh, what's the matter with me? I always long to help the needy, to do the things I never dared. This was the time for me to step up, so then why was I so scared? A warlord who shoots people in the face. What's so scary about that? I must trust that my Lord is mightier and always has my back. Now I must be completely devout. I can't have even one shred of doubt. I believe that the Lord God created the universe. I believe that He sent His only Son to die for my sins. And I believe that ancient Jews built boats and sailed to America. I am a Mormon, and a Mormon just believes. You cannot just believe partway. You have to believe it all. My problem was doubting the Lord's will instead of standing tall. I can't allow myself to have any doubt. It's time to set my worries free. Time to show the world what Elder Christ is about and share the power inside of me. I believe that God has a plan for all of us. I believe that plan involves me getting my own planet. And I believe that the current president of the church, Thomas Hudson, speaks directly to God. I am a Mormon. Dang it! A Mormon just believes. Mormon just believes. And no man the things my God commands. I realize now why He sent me here. If you ask the Lord in faith, He will always answer you. Just believe in Him and have no
General, we have an intruder. He just walked right into town.
I believe that Satan has a hold on you. I believe that the Lord God sends me here, and I believe that in 1917 God changed His mind about black people. You can be a Mormon who just believes. And now I can feel the excitement. This is the moment I was born to do. And I feel so incredible to be sharing my faith with you. The scriptures say that if you ask in faith, if you ask God Himself, you'll know. But you must ask Him without any doubt. Let your spirit flow. I believe that God is unbelievable. I believe that Jesus has His own plan as well. And I believe that the Garden of Eden was in Jackson County, Missouri. I believe the Lord will reveal it, and you'll know it's all true. You'll just feel it. You'll be a Mormon. My gosh, a Mormon. I believe.
Guess who's back?
Surprise bitch.
Surprise. Bet you thought you'd seen the last of her. We're going to Next to Normal today and we're so excited.
Yes.
Especially...
I'm going to be doing my makeup on the train.
Yeah.
And I would like to... I'm going to put my... I dropped an eyeliner, that's fine. It's broken, so I put it in a bag. It doesn't get fucked.
As you can probably tell, we're both messes, realistically. And I'm the one with the dyed hair this time.
I've let everyone down.
I know. You and your natural hair colour.
I think I was ginger in the last one as well. It's still kind of natural.
So yeah, as you saw from that first clip, we're going to Next to Normal. We're very excited, just because it's closing in like 3 weeks? Mm-hmm. And also, you are leaving to go back to uni at the end of September.
I'm gonna die.
You're going to abandon me?
What's the thing that they do in Cats? The cat heaven?
Oh, they go to like... Yeah, like,
go to
it's like go to cat. No, but I think they do, right? They have
because they have to sing.
They have to
Britain's
select
Got
someone
Talent until they go to cat heaven. And James Corden gets sucked down a pipe or something.
Bit of a tangent there.
You're welcome. That's what I'm here for.
I know. We're very excited because we've got a little 2-person box, which is so fun.
Yes, I'm gonna feel so bougie.
I know, it's going to be so fancy, even though they're the cheap seats. They're always the most bougie ones.
It's fancy.
It's fancy.
We're gonna be living like we shop at Waitrose today.
We're going to be living like kings today.
Yeah.
I think we're just going to enjoy our train ride. I've got a raspberry mojito because it's 5 o'clock somewhere, even though it's 10 a.m. now.
Do you want to show the rancid drink that I've got?
The rancid drink.
It's called Dragon Soup. It's half alcohol, half energy drink.
Sounds just like it was made for Isla.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a stroke on the train.
Please don't.
It's peach flavoured though. I'm on a theme. My last energy drink was peach as well.
Oh my god, love that. Cheers to that. Come on. Hey. I've also got... Yeah, well, kind of. I've got my second coffee for today. I'm going to be whizzing.
Western Railway service to London Waterloo.
Right, thank you, Isla. Right, okay. On that note, we'll see you in London Waterloo. We made it. I'm too short to like get you in the frame. We're gonna go Covent Garden for a bit, and then we're gonna go to the Wyndham's Theatre for Next to Normal.
Money that we don't have.
Yeah. Let's spend money we don't have. That's such a good idea.
All of these say X.
One sec.
This way.
This way. So as you can see, when we arrived, we hopped right onto the Underground. Our aim? Covent Garden, especially the little market that they have, because it is so fun. You can already tell we're having such a good time. So I filmed a little bit on the tube because it was empty as all anything. We got to Leicester Square and then we walked over to Covent Garden. Isla bought a few rings from one stand and I ended up buying a hand-painted silk tie and these 2 metal posters of the Queen himself, Freddie Mercury and Elton John. Isla was modelling some sunglasses, very slay, very cutesy, very demure, and these were the ties I was talking about, very gay-coded, very me. You can tell they are very me. But then it was time to head over to the Wyndham's Theatre for Next to Normal. This was so exciting. I had heard so many great things about it, and looking at this, I was already like pumped and also just so invested. We were in box 7, I was in seat 2, and this was the view. It was pretty good. Oi, we're in the theatre. You've already seen my view. We're in the box. We're in box 7.
Hand to the door.
Slide. It's a slidey door. That is mental. It's like we're on a train, yeah. So be careful. This is our view for 35 quid. That is really good. As you can see, we did spend some money in the market, as we said we would. Also, do you want to let them know who's on?
The man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Jack Wolf, is going to be singing for us today.
But for now, we're going to sit in the lovely aircon in our little booth and enjoy Act 1, and I'll catch you in the interval. This is a good time to tell you that I don't know what the show's about and she does. This is why she didn't tell me anything. I've been sobbing for for like 10 minutes. How long has it been? Like 15? I don't even know. What the fuck? It's so good, but what the fuck? What the fuck? Straight face.
10 out of 10 would see.
Now, of course, after any show, food is an essential. We headed over to the Picture House restaurant, which is in a cinema, which is also amazing. Danielle recommended the place to me for being pretty affordable, pretty decent. I had a hot dog, Isla had a chicken burger, and then it was time to go home. But not before I ventured out and did something that I had always wanted to do in London.
Harrods like the fancy people we are.
I could buy something if I wanted to.
Me too. I have a job.
Yeah, me too.
I have savings.
Yeah, me too.
So after being scared to death in a place definitely just made for rich people, we headed back onto the tube. I was craving a little sweet treat, a little something. So, as you've heard already, I've recently gotten so obsessed with frozen yogurt, and this was the moment that I fell in love with it.
Does it scare you? What's the verdict? Is it frozen and yogurty?
Yeah. I'm zooming in.
Oh, lucky for you, it won't zoom in more than 0.9. And it won't go out more than 0.5.
We're on the train. I'm very awake. Isla is not, so she will not be speaking. Oh yeah, it's bedtime. Oh, see, she's already asleep. Oh, bless her. All right. Well, I'm gonna close out this part of the vlog, and I'll catch you when I'm at home to tell you my thoughts on the show, because I can't form a sentence about it because it was that good. So I'll see you when I get home, and hopefully I'll have my thoughts together, because right now they're all over the place. So, good night, and I'll see you in like a week maybe.
Well guys, I'm finally getting around to it. Let's talk about Next to Normal. Before I dive into this review, I do just want to mention a few trigger warnings that may appear in this review. I say may because I don't really know what I'm gonna say. I have some rough notes. Nothing in depth. So we're going to list them here once again like I did in a previous video. And yeah, if that's nothing that you want to hear right now or listen to or think about, this video isn't for you. Click off, find something that's a bit more lighthearted maybe. This show is very, very dark. But I'm really excited to talk about it because this was, I'm gonna say, a hidden gem. Like, for me personally, I knew how popular it was, but at the same time, I don't know, it just didn't, I wasn't drawn to it the same way I'm drawn to other shows. And I truly think that Isla wanting to go and therefore taking me, it really just like opened my horizons to this musical, and just the fact that I didn't know the twist, like that was really, really funny when it happened. But it is a very heavy show, so just be warned. Let's dive into it, because I'm actually really excited to talk about this because it was fantastic. First of all, can we talk about how fucking amazing the cover art and the program art is for this show? It's wonderful. I looked up how it looked on Broadway, and not gonna lie, I prefer this because this is awesome. And actually, if you know the show, you can pick out little items and objects that appear on this poster that relate to the show, which is very, very clever. I do love this piece of artwork. Now, the very first scene we see in the show is the family, and they seem to be a very normal family, but the mum seems a little bit neglectful of the daughter. She's very, 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 very talkative to her son, always knows what he's up to, always knows what he's going to do. She has a very, very good relationship with her son. I said spoiler warning, didn't I? So we don't find this out in the opening scene because, you know, that would be a bit too soon. But we do find out later on in the play that the son is dead. And we find out that he died at 8 months old, and the mother still sees him. She still sees her son, and we're meant to assume that she's seen him grow up through the years and she still sees him now. And when you link that back to the beginning, when they're all getting ready for work, school, whatever, they seem like a normal family. The mother is the only one that can interact with the son, which is such a good detail if you don't know the twist. Like, that is really, really cool. I shouldn't say cool. It's a very good way at hinting very subtly that something is wrong. A bit of an actual example here. Dad's getting ready for work and the son picks up his car keys, starts waving them teasingly in his face, and the dad doesn't notice at all that his son is messing with him. And then the keys end up in the exact same place on the floor that the son, Gabe, played by Jack Wolf, found them. Hence, the keys never moved. They never left the floor because no one picked them up. I just love those little details that this show puts in, especially at the beginning if you don't know the twist, which I didn't because like that was so shocking. But it's very, very clever. It's very, very well done. So the mum sees a therapist. I feel like that would be like the first thing that you do in a situation like this. There is a joke that's played off that the mum is like in love with the therapist, and it is very much hinted that the mum feels that she married her husband way too soon. They were sort of young, dumb, she was pregnant, so they said, you know what, let's get together, let's raise this kid together. But the therapy sessions and the struggle with the rest of the family also having to deal with those therapy sessions, it was very, very well done. You can really see how taxing it is on the father, obviously, and the daughter, because she's basically been neglected her entire life for a brother she has that doesn't actually exist, and you know, that's got to be really, really hard on her because her mum doesn't see her, essentially. And it's brought up later, I think by the daughter actually, that she was kind of, I guess, a replacement for their son that they lost, which just makes it 10 times more sad. This show is heavy. Now, after the pills and everything don't work and she's still seeing her son, the therapist offers electroshock therapy. And she goes through the process and she goes through the procedure and then she's sent home at the end of it. And one of the sort of side effects for electroshock therapy is memory loss, and that is what the mum suffers when she comes back home. And, you know, it takes a while, but the dad and daughter are willing to help the mum sort of rebuild her life and re-remember everything. The dad and daughter do not want their mum to remember the son that they had, which is kind of understandable, I suppose, because you don't want the problem to come back, but they really do not want her to remember that boy. And there's a point where she finds all of his stuff because she never threw it away. Obviously she wouldn't, because of how much grief she was clearly in when he did die. So she finds all of his things and she's going through them because she kind of wants to rebuild her life and rebuild her memories, because she's struggling to remember something and she knows that something's missing, and that something is her son. And when she sort of finally puts the pieces together, her son visits her again and he promises her paradise and freedom, basically, where they can be together. And I feel like you might sort of guess where this is going, but the mum slits her wrists and it's very, very, very well done, I will say. It's very, very heavy, because you see all this blood on the stage afterwards and the dad's clearing it up, and it's just, you can really see the pain that this family is going through to just try and, he's trying to get his wife back, the daughter's trying to get her mum back. Isla pointed out something really, really neat that they did with that scene and the set. So, the stage is covered in blood after the fact, and I said to her, I was like, how did they get that much fake blood on the stage that quickly? So the mum has the toy box, and I guess she sort of punctures something, or there's something specific that she sort of presses or whatever, but the blood leaks from the bottom of the box with her son's things in it. And I just think the symbolism of that and the fact that he is essentially the reason that she is driving herself crazy and the fact that that emerges from his things when she is trying to remember him, trying so hard to remember him. It's just very, very symbolic, and just the weight of everything. And I think, yeah, that's how Act 1 ends. This show is so powerful, and it's brave. I'm gonna say that, it's brave. It's a very, very brave show. It's very, very well put together. I won't discredit it for that, because it was amazing. It is just so taxing on the brain. Like, it really makes you think, and I really think that that is the intention behind it, you know? But let's talk about my little theory on why Gabe, the son, is not a ghost. A lot of people reckon that he's like an actual ghost. I don't think so. He's too malicious. He is far too malicious to be a boy that loves his mum. You know what I mean? You know, he, in the end, makes her do that to herself, and he's definitely not on her side. He doesn't want her to forget him. He wants her to go with him and be with him and be his mother, you know. So I think that obviously he's literally just a figment of how she views his death, you know. And in a way, it does make me think that she thinks it is the dad's fault, mainly because the Gabe that she conjures up in her head doesn't give the dad the time of day at all. You know, this version of her son is the one that she wants in this moment to help her, and that's exactly what she gets. So Gabe isn't a ghost in my mind. He's literally just a figment of her fear, essentially. Now, speaking of Jack Wolf and Gabe and all of that, let's get on to the cast of this show, because they were absolutely wonderful and I do want to chat about them. So obviously we know this, Jack Wolf has amazing vocals, and his version of I'm Alive, like, I listened to Aaron Tveit's version from the Broadway cast, and I feel like Jack did like a way more like rock star version of it, which I absolutely loved. And I feel like that's 100% intentional, right? Because he keeps repeating the phrase, I'm alive, you know. It's almost trying to trick the audience into thinking, yes, this boy is alive and he's here and he's always been here and he's always been part of the family. And it's almost making you sort of enter the mind of the mother and how she sees the situation. Her son is alive. In her mind, and he didn't die, and that's how she sees it. There is no other way to see it. What I do like is when Jack isn't actively in a scene or actively interacting with anyone like the mum, he's just an observer. He's pretty much always on stage when they're in the home as an observer, and I guess we're made to think that he's just always in the background. You know, it doesn't matter if the mum is actively thinking about him, he is always there in the back of her mind. And that kind of refers back to the dad's car keys at the start when he's trying to mess with him. You know, he can't, but he's trying to worm his way into the other family members' minds. And it does work in the end when the mum leaves, and the dad is left in the house. And we're meant to think that the dad finally sees his son. Now, what that means, honestly, if you ask me, no clue. But I think it's kind of a way of saying, you know, the mum is free and Gabe was only ever in that house. Like, she's freed her mind from it because she's moved quite physically. She's moved out the house, she's moved on, and so he got left behind in the house. So now it's the dad that's plagued with the memories of their son. So I guess you could say the kind of side characters in the show were the daughter and her boyfriend. So they were played by Eleanor Cox and Jack Afrasio. But I feel like the fact that they were side characters is so important to understanding the daughter's story and her struggle. You know, she's always on the side, she's always very neglected, and you can hear the pain and the heartbreak and the upset, especially whenever she is talking to her boyfriend. And the contrast with what we see in the start with Jack Wolf's character messing with the family, again, I'm going to keep bringing this up because that opening scene is so clever, especially if you don't know the twist. Even if you do, it's wonderful. And this is where a bit of contrast comes in. Jack Wolf's character, Gabe, the brother, The beginning, when he's messing with his dad, he's talking to his mum, he's going to school like a normal kid. He has a normal family in his mind. He has a completely normal family. So the fact that the daughter is neglected constantly, it just kind of shows how on the side she is in her mother's mind. But I will say Jack and Eleanor had great chemistry on stage as boyfriend and girlfriend. They both had fantastic vocals and they were very, very good at being the side characters, you know, the people that just, they had each other and that was enough for them, you know. And I think that's okay for them to be a bit more on the side than the rest of the family. After all, the daughter is very much pushed to the side by the mum. So I feel like the fact that she isn't in it as much is very much intentional. Now moving on to the therapist really quickly. He was played by Trevor Dion Nicholas, who I saw as George Washington in Hamilton about 2 years ago. And what I will say about that, and what I've seen him in, he is also set to play Hades in Hadestown from like the mid-October season, so I'm really excited about that. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about his character in Next to Normal as the therapist. He's sympathetic, he's strong, he's a try-hard, he's very, very determined to make this work for the mum. He really wants this family to come back together again. And that's kind of his purpose. He's kind of, I suppose, the anchor that's attempting to hold this family together because he can see how much they are tearing apart. But other than that, great vocals. He's so fun. I feel like he's very much the fun character on the stage, if you can even have any for this show. But he was very, very enjoyable. I absolutely loved him with the little stage time he had. So, thumbs up to Trevor. Cassie Levy and Jamie Parker, these were the mum and the dad. So Casey is an incredible actor. She is wonderful. She is so good, and it was so believable, and I think that is what you need in this show to make it as heavy as it is and as impactful as it is. She's emotionally vulnerable, she's damaged, she is absolutely devoted to her son. What I find interesting about the fact that the daughter essentially replaces Gabe in their perfect family, because I feel like the son and the fact that they had a son was the only thing that was holding them together, which I suppose is why they wanted to have a replacement, because they didn't want to part from each other. The dad just wants to have a happy family with his daughter, and he is the one out of the two that really tries to have a relationship with her. He just wants to be normal. But deep down, the dad is damaged. You know how I said that he finally sees Gabe when the wife was already out of the picture? She's gone, she's trying to move on, she's left the house. It suggests to me that the dad could always see Gabe. He was always there. He just didn't want to see him. He just ignored him. And linking that back to the beginning with the car keys, I feel like, yeah, the dad could see that his son was teasing him and trying to get to him, but he just didn't let it happen. And I feel like, yeah, both of them are struggling in different ways, and honestly I feel like that's the point of the show. It's not just about the mum, it's about the entire family. It's about the entire family. Both of them were incredible. They had incredible acting skills, and just, wow, this show, it blew me away. But yeah, I think that's honestly it for this show, otherwise I could keep on and on forever. And as much as I'd love to do that, I have places to be today, and I have things to do, people to see, but I really did enjoy this show, and I did come out of it, and I know this is gonna sound cheesy, a different person. So yeah, that was my review to Next to Normal. Next time you see me, I will be at the Bridge Theatre seeing Guys and Dolls, which was really good, and I'm definitely going to go back. And obviously, I did go to Book of Mormon after Guys and Dolls, so it will be a Guys and Dolls Book of Mormon kind of vlog. And I'm really excited for you to see it because I loved Guys and Dolls. It was so good. But I won't spoil anything now. I will save that for the next video, and I'll see you then.